In a faraway forest, thick with ancient trees and alive with the sounds of the wild, lived a hunter. But this was no ordinary hunter. He was known far and wide not for his skill, but for his insatiable greed. He believed every creature in the forest, every deer, every boar, every rabbit, and every bird belonged to him and him alone. The very thought of another hunter taking so much as a single squirrel from his forest set him into a rage. His greed was matched only by his selfishness. He lived in a small, run-down cabin at the edge of the woods, but it wasn't due to poverty. He had a hoard of treasures gained from selling the finest pelts and horns, but he never spent a coin on comfort or on helping others. The villagers in the nearby town spoke of him in hushed tones. They remembered the time a harsh winter left them on the brink of starvation. They had pleaded with the hunter to share some of his plentiful game, but he just laughed, slammed the door in their faces, and told them to find their own food. He couldn't bear to part with anything he considered his. His obsession grew with each passing day. He started setting more and more traps, far more than he could ever need. The forest, once a vibrant sanctuary, began to fall silent. The paths became littered with his cruel snares. He would patrol the woods from sunrise to sunset, his eyes darting around, not with the keen focus of a true woodsman, but with the paranoid glare of a miser guarding his gold. He wasn't hunting for survival anymore. He was hunting to possess. He wanted to be the sole master of the forest life force. One morning, as the sun's first rays pierced through the canopy, the hunter heard a rumor that sent a shiver of fury down his spine. A magnificent golden stag, an animal of legend with antlers that shone like the sun itself, had been spotted deep within the forest. It was said that a single glance at this creature brought good fortune for a lifetime. But the hunter didn't care about fortune. He only cared that this legendary stag, this ultimate prize, existed in **** forest. It had to be his. No one else could even be allowed to see it. The thought of another hunter capturing the golden stag consumed him. He abandoned all his other traps and began a frantic quest. For days, he pushed deeper into the woods than he had ever gone before, into a part of the forest that was wild, untamed, and whispered to hold ancient secrets. He ignored the strange. Twisted trees and the eerie silence that seemed to follow him. His greed was a blindfold. Shutting out all reason and caution, he tracked the stag relentlessly, his only guide the occasional glint of gold he saw flashing through the dense undergrowth. He barely ate. He barely slept. His mind was a whirlwind of possession. Mine, he would mutter to himself, his voice a hoarse whisper. It will be mine. He pictured the golden antlers mounted above his fireplace, a testament to his supreme ownership of the forest. The stag was no longer a living creature to him. It was the ultimate trophy. Finally, after a week of tireless pursuit, he cornered the golden stag in a secluded, sun-dappled clearing. The creature was even more majestic than the legends described. Its coat shimmered like spun gold. Its eyes held a calm, ancient wisdom. It wasn't frightened. It simply stood there, watching the hunter with an unnerving stillness. For a fleeting moment, the hunter was struck by its beauty, a flicker of a piercing through his greed. But it was only for a moment. He raised his bow, his heart pounding not with excitement, but with the fever of acquisition. This was the final step. He would claim the forest's greatest treasure. As he drew back the string, ready to release the fatal arrow, the stag did something unexpected. It didn't run. It simply turned and took a few graceful steps toward a shimmering curtain of light that had appeared at the edge of the clearing, a waterfall of pure, liquid sunlight. The hunter, bewildered and enraged that his prize was about to escape, sprinted after it. He wouldn't be denied. He lunged forward, his hands outstretched, desperate to grab the golden antlers as the stag stepped through the curtain of light and vanished. The hunter plunged right in after it, his vision filled with blinding brilliance. But he didn't emerge in another part of the forest. When the light faded, the hunter found himself standing in the exact same clearing. Everything looked the same: the trees, the flowers, the soft moss under his feet. He spun around, confused. Where was the stag? Where was the magical waterfall? He took a step, and then he saw it. A glint of gold near his feet. He looked down and gasped. There, on the ground, was not the golden stag, but his own reflection in a small puddle. And sprouting from his head, heavy and ornate, was a magnificent pair of golden antlers. He touched them, they were real, solid. He tried to pull them off, but they were part of him. Fused to his skull, panic seized him, he stumbled back. Catching his reflection again, his face was contorted in terror. But the antlers gleamed beautifully in the sunlight. Suddenly, he heard the baying of hounds in the distance and the sound of a hunting horn. A cold dread, colder than any winter's night, washed over him. He was the prey now. He was the ultimate prize. He turned and ran, the heavy antlers catching on low-hanging branches, slowing him down, mocking him. The sounds of the hunt grew closer and closer. He was now the most sought-after creature in the woods, the very thing he had always desired to possess. The greedy hunter was never seen again. But sometimes, on quiet nights, the villagers say you can hear a desperate cry echoing from the deepest parts of the woods, a cry of a man who got exactly what he wished for. He wanted to possess the ultimate trophy of the forest, and in the end, he became it. The forest, it seemed, had its own way of balancing the scales. The legend serves as a chilling reminder that when you try to own everything, you might just lose yourself. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales from the wild.